Hey everyone, Andrew Hess here, and today I wanted to talk about 5 common mistakes that I've been seeing in people's Copilot Studio agents. Let's just go ahead and dive right in. Let's start with number 5, and actually number 5 may be one of the most important, is don't just test in the test pane. If you're going to be in Teams, and that's where your agent is going to be, do some testing in Teams, and I would say do it early. Now, say something like you have an adaptive card. So let's say you have an adaptive card and you want it to look good in Teams. Well, it's very useful that, okay, adaptive cards do look good in the test pane. They look different in Teams and they look very different in a web front end. So you need to be testing in all of your channels where your bot is going to be. So that's my first suggestion is don't just trust the test panel. I want you to start early. And if you're going to be, if one of your channels is going to be in Microsoft Teams, I want you to test in Teams. You know, make a small little group that can test and make sure you can visualize it in Teams before you publish this to production. You know, maybe someone doesn't have the credentials. Maybe you're authenticating to SharePoint and everybody can't get authentication on a web front end. Make sure that wherever your channel is, that you're actually testing in that channel before you're ready to go live and into production. Number four, this is something that I see that's very common and you'd think it would be obvious, but it's not that obvious to people because a lot of us are developers and we're used to writing beautiful code. We're used to writing all this, and even the examples that they give you are very long. And my number 4 is your instructions. Your instructions should be short, not long. Like even this example here that Copilot Studio out of the box generated for me, I find this too long, too bulky. Like all this information, right? It's 2,000 characters. Honestly, this is opinion. Maybe you have a different opinion. I would say delete the out of the box instructions. I suggest that you start small and then build from there. First, start off with what do you want your agent to do? What do you want your agent to not do? And then build from there. Don't throw everything in your instructions that you want your agent to do. So we'll get into that more. Maybe if you have other instructions that are very important, like a tool, maybe you just suggest to use that tool. Like let's say there's a weather agent. Like let's just say there's a weather tool. So let's do here. You describe the weather in Atlanta, Georgia. Use the tool and we'll just go ahead and save. We're going to set up a weather tool, right? So let's add a tool here and let's find weather. And let's see, let's do MSN weather, get current weather. When we went ahead and connected, I'm not going to change anything because I want to keep this simple for now, but then we'll come back to it. And so now in our instructions, we'll use the tool and you just type in /, right? To pull in your get current weather tool and then tell it what you don't want it to do. Tell your agent what you don't want it to do. Do not get weather for any other city or state. Only Atlanta, Georgia. Okay? So we'll go ahead and publish and save, do all that, and then let's try it with our new weather tool, keeping it simple. And then keep your main set of instructions very simple at first and then build upon it very slowly. Do not try and throw everything into your instructions, and we'll get into that more in just a second, right? Because you have tools, child agents, connected agents, right? So every time you ask a question, right, the agent is orchestrating your instructions, and this counts as some of your credit consumption. So every time you ask a question, your instructions are being consumed in your credits. So the shorter and precise your main set of instructions are, the better. So now I can say something like, what is the weather? And hopefully it knows that it's going to choose Atlanta, Georgia. So we'll go ahead. The user is asking about the weather. It automatically chose Atlanta, Georgia. It's now retrieving that information. We can see the latitude, longitude, the pressure, etc. And we have a nice little table about the weather in Atlanta, Georgia. Let me try asking it outside of Atlanta, Georgia. What is the weather in Seattle? Now, because we told Copilot Studio what not to ask, that this is out of scope, it should not respond. As it said, I'm sorry, I'm only able to provide information for Atlanta, Georgia. That is out of scope, and I'm not going to answer your question about Seattle, Washington. This is number 4. Keep your instructions short and precise, right? They're shorter and the precise that your instructions are, and the less that you repeat yourself. Don't repeat yourself in the main set of instructions. The better that your agent is going to be able to orchestrate and respond to your user's needs. Okay, so here's the next one. In tools, when you use tools, my suggestion, unless it's get current weather, even get current weather, name your tools better. And I want you to focus on the name more than the description. So the name is going to be read, and it's actually weighted more than the description. So you have 64 characters right here. You can see right now, currently you have 64 characters to give your agent a better way to orchestrate through the name. The name is most important. Then the description comes into play. So get current weather in Atlanta, GA, right? Get the current weather for a location? No, for only Atlanta. If the user asks for another city, remind them that the policy on our team only allows the weather forecast to be predicted for Atlanta. So notice I did not put this in my main set of instructions. I put this in the tool, right? Because every time in the main set of instructions, we're consuming those credits. So first, what the agent is going to do, it's going to decide which tool to use, right? We might have another tool. And what it's going to do is if you ask for the weather, then it's going to go to that tool, and I have a longer description here, up to 1024. So I can ask them, now let's start over. Let's try again. Tell me about the weather in New York. So this time it's going to tell us about the policy, right? Because we actually put that in the description of the tool. Last time it just said, no, I can't talk about that. This time it's going to say, our team's policy only allows me to provide the weather for the Atlanta, Georgia. So very, 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 very important, right? Now, the next one, let's say you have another tool. You need to make sure that the agent understands the difference between your tools. But I have seen this where people literally have multiple tools. Like, let's say they have some Dataverse connectors. So let's say they have some Dataverse connectors and they say list current rows. And then they leave the name the same, right? And then what they do is they come in here and they come to the description, list the table from a dog table in Power Platform. And then they leave the name the same, right? And that connects to one table. And they come in here and then they add another table, right? So then they add another connector to Dataverse. And it is also list rows from selected environment. But this one says in the description, it says list from a cat table, right? And notice here, it just put a 1 on the end. This is going to confuse your agent, right? Because like I said, the name is overweighed by the description, right? It's you're allowing your agent to hallucinate a little bit. It actually may even look up both, right? Because it's getting confused. And you want there to be less confusion. List rows from cat table, right? In the name of your tool. You want to make sure that your tools are named different enough so that it knows list rows from dog table. So it knows which way to orchestrate. And so this is another big problem I've been seeing is people are allowing ambiguous names of their tools to be so similar that their agent actually gets confused and doesn't know which tool to call, and it may call multiple different ones and it gets confused. So keep the names of your tools different enough so that your agent knows which one to call upon. All right, last but not least, and this is just for now, like this is how this works right now. When you use a tool that is an MCP server, so you add a new MCP server, or not a custom one. Let's do one that exists already. So let's say you have a tool. Let's say you add an MCP server or to your agent, right? And it is in your, we'll call it right now, it's in your parent agent. What I want you to do is I want you to take that MCP server, and instead of trying to give instructions here to, always use this, and what you'll notice right now is really I can't call upon my MCP server. So if I press / here, right, we're not seeing my MCP server. We're not seeing it in there. So, we can write some instructions, always use the MCP server if a user wants to get their calendar, right? So you can write that in there. What I want you to do instead is I want you to create an agent, whether it's connected or a child agent. I'm going to recommend a child agent. I want you to take a new child agent and I want you to wrap your MCP server in the child agent here. So this is where you have your MCP server. In the instructions of your child agent, this agent retrieves my calendar. And this is where you would have your tool. And this is where you would have your model context protocol, and you would use your work IQ calendar here. And I want you to wrap that into a child agent. And this is just for now. This may change in the future. Right now it's April 2026. Whenever you use an MCP server, I'm going to recommend that you wrap it inside a child agent. Remove the extra tool, right? We want it in our child agent. So I believe this is my one. So this one is not in the agent, right? This is just on my main parent agent. I want you to wrap your MCP servers inside a child agent. And that's just for now. It's a suggestion. And that's so you can call upon it. And that way it's not always in your main set of instructions, right? So now in your instructions, when it says, if the user asks about calendar, then you tell it to get the child agent. And that's how I'm going to suggest that you do all of your MCP servers. If you have some better ideas, if you want to share some of your better ideas, the goal is for all of us to grow, right? It's not just my ideas, but these are the 5 ideas that I thought were the most important that I've been seeing with all the Copilot Studio agents that I've seen being built. So go ahead, leave a comment. Tell me, what is the biggest mistake that you keep seeing over and over and over again? Thank you all for watching. My name is Andrew Hess. I'll see you next week.